So what did mega entertainer Elton John say while on stage with President Biden that is making headlines and made the commander-in-chief blush and make the sign of the cross in jest?
No.
I'll share the answer in just a minute and why it was possibly historic for all the comedically wrong reasons. But first, let's delve into some context for this one-of-a-kind moment in time. Elton John is certainly no stranger to politics through his LGBT plus rights and AIDS research activism, and he even received the occasional random mention during Trump's campaign stops and presidency. Here's one in a serving of nonsense from the master chef of word salad.
I have broken more Elton John records. He seems to have a lot of records. And by the way, I don't have a musical instrument.
I have something that others don't have.
I don't have a guitar or an organ.
If we wanted to, I just don't want to.
No organ. This is the only musical, the mouth. And hopefully the brain attached to the mouth.
And it doesn't stop there. The former celebrity game show host was often caught fawning over the music celebrity.
President Trump is a huge Elton John fan.
I think Elton John is great.
A theme that's come up before.
Yeah, they said it was like if Elton John came and we broke that record. Elton John, I'm no longer competing with politicians. I'm competing with musical talent.
The president even touted some performance advice he says he got from the Brit.
Elton John's a good friend of mine, and he said to me, you know, when you finish with a great song, get off the stage.
Did you hear that? Elton John is a good friend of mine. Now let's see where that ranks on the Trump liar meter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And does Elton John reciprocate the phony love? Let's explore what his true feelings might be.
But when it comes to politics, the liberal activist doesn't feel the love.
Donald Trump will be sworn in as the president of the United States on January 20th, but not everyone is too thrilled about it. Back in November, a member of Trump's inaugural committee told reporters that Sir Elton John would perform at his inauguration. The only problem? Elton hadn't agreed to that at all and had even campaigned for Hillary Clinton. Elton's reps were very quick to shut that rumor down.
So what about Sir Elton John and President Joe Biden? Is there any bromance there? The funny clip from yesterday will certainly reveal a unique level of comfort, and I'll play that in a few seconds. But first, let's look at this momentous exchange that must have had Trump's otherwise orange face red with jealous rage.
It's my great honor, and I mean this sincerely, to present the National Humanities Medal to Sir Elton John.
And I can't thank you enough. I'm really emotional about this. Thank you.
So what exactly happened on stage yesterday that I described as both comedic and historic? Watch as Elton John delivers remarks at the opening ceremony for the Stonewall Inn Memorial Visitor Center in New York City, flanked by dignitary and leader of the free world, President Joe Biden.
Do we stand up for our vision and our values, or let misinformation and senseless scapegoating turn back the clock? No fucking way. No.
Let's return to that unique moment between Elton John and President Biden and the historic impact it will have on LGBT plus people everywhere. And then please stick around because I'm going to give Donald Trump the final word.
Thank you, Mr. President and Dr. Biden, for your kind introduction, for declaring Stonewall to be a national monument, and for your empowering words for our LGBTQ plus brothers and sisters, those here with us today, and those listening across America and around the world. I can say as a proud English gay man that this is one of the biggest honors of my life to be here today. Having watched what took place 55 years ago, thank you too for celebrating our place as equal and valued members of society and for taking concrete action to make our lives better. Today, we join forces to celebrate the progress we have made together and to remember that the fight for freedom and equality is an ongoing one. 55 years ago, in this sacred spot of the Stonewall Uprising, gay activists stood strong and ignited a movement that has changed history for the better. I'm grateful to be here today with my husband, David, sending love to our two beautiful sons, in part because the Christopher Street community rose up and took that bold stand. The job isn't done. Over 540 anti-LGBTQ+ bills were introduced in state legislatures across America this year. Disgraceful. And discrimination and criminalization threaten the lives of our LGBTQ+ family from Kingston to Kampala. We fight these human rights abuses around the world every day as we seek to open hearts and minds and find innovative ways to move forward. And, as President Biden has reminded us, today, too, we face one of those seminal moments.
And as promised, here's the final word by Donald J. Trump as represented by his policies as president.
New Trump administration rule would roll back sex discrimination protection for transgender people in health services.
My next guests have been forced to undergo DNA testing to establish a biological connection with their own children under a new State Department policy, a requirement not asked of married heterosexual couples.
The new judges are highly credentialed conservative powerhouses, what you'd expect from a traditional Republican president. Democrats say it's not qualifications, but their philosophy that could lead to a rollback of civil rights.
The New York Times reporting the Trump administration wants to legally define transgender out of existence by officially recognizing only a person's gender at birth. This is just the latest attack on several Obama policies that expanded protections against sex discrimination to cover gender identity in areas like housing, education, and the military.